How safe are your gun safes? If you stumbled across this video, you're probably like me and you just got done watching like an hour and a half of people cutting open gun safes with simple hand tools. So now you're probably wondering, how often does that happen in the real world? I did a Google search, I dug through statistics. I had a really hard time finding actual statistics of how often when your house gets broken into they actually attack your safe. Usually if I found something that had anything to do at all with the safe, it was a manufacturer cutting open some Chinese safe and explaining how junk it is and that you should buy his and it'll prevent it. But they don't actually say how many times, on average, when a house gets broken into, do they attack the safe. So the best I got for you is about 48% of the people are willing to break things to get what they want. The cops refer to them as crimes of opportunity. Scenario, pizza guy shows up, drops off your pizza and notices you have a lot of nice things. Now he has your phone number and your name, follows you on Facebook with a fake profile, realizes you're out of town and stops on over. But I did find some information, and it's actually some pretty good information, and I did talk to a couple of cops. What the cops had said is usually if there's any kind of safe whatsoever, if it cannot be readily picked up and carried out of the house, it's just bypassed. They also said that the master bedroom is usually what gets attacked. And some of the information I found on the internet does support that. I also learned that most of the time in home invasions, which actually kind of makes sense, it's someone that has been in the house or had a chance to case it out. And I haven't always been a productive member of society, and I used to hang out with some very unfavorable people. If you could go back in time and tell yourself something, what would it be? You have no idea how many times they'd robbed their own family members. These are the people you need to really be careful of. And say you build like a soda machine safe or something like that, you need to hide what you're doing. If anything, say you're trying to restore it and then just keep it in the garage. Which brings up another point. If your safe gets broken into, you know, it looks really suspicious, especially if you live in a residential area, carrying a 5-pound sledgehammer down the street and a 6-foot long crowbar. What they're probably going to use is the tools that are right there. So if your gun safe's in the garage, surrounded by a whole bunch of tools they can easily use to crack that thing open, they're probably going to attack it, especially if they know there's something extremely valuable in it. Now there is one easy way to find out if you have a good gun safe or not.
The reason this is important is because with less steel in the door is less rigid. As you can see on this door, there's quite a bit of flex in the...
So it really comes down to how juicy of a target is your safe. Is it huge? Does it look like it's got a whole bunch of stuff in there? Is the guy that breaking into your house follow your wife on Facebook or your kids or even you? Maybe they're a babysitter. Maybe they're a babysitter's friend that the babysitter told about this huge gun safe, who follows her, who follows your wife, and knows that you're going to be out of town for a month. Now, obviously, a better safe is good. Most of the safes you see at Walmart and stuff are really, really thin. But if you're like me and you move quite frequently, or you don't have a couple $1,000s to spend on a gun safe, one of the easiest precautions you can take is actually looking at your renter's insurance. Now be careful with this. When I actually looked into my renter's insurance policy, they only gave me $1,000 of coverage. I'm like, okay, so what about the rest of my firearms? What I had to do was talk to them, itemize all my firearms, give them all the serial numbers, and then they covered each individual one. Which works great for me because I can replace any of my firearms at the click of a mouse. Now if you have rarer firearms, it's a bit different. Also, if you're a member of the NRA, they also offer about $1,000 of insurance. But even at $2,000 of insurance, what about the rest of my firearms? Now another great option, so you don't actually have to combat against brute force, is concealment. You hide your stuff. Whether that's in a soda machine safe, or you use like a false mirror that you can slide and then put your firearms behind the wall. But now be really careful with this. I actually used the mirror thing. I took some drawer hinges, got a big frame mirror, and it slid sideways. I didn't feel totally comfortable installing it myself, so I had somebody help me with it. Once you know, I go to Wisconsin, my woman posts on MySpace, hey, we're going to Wisconsin for a week. And he followed her, broke into my house, stole my Armor Light AR-10. Another thing you have to realize about firearm theft is you're probably not going to get your firearms back. I had 2 firearms stolen. In both cases, I knew exactly who did it. I pointed the person out, and the cops couldn't do anything about it. Yeah, they questioned him and that, but unless he admits to it or gets caught with the firearm himself, it's not what you know, it's what you can prove. Another really good option if you move around a lot, or you can't afford a big safe, is someone to gun sit. I mean, your parents are older than dirt, they have no friends, and they never leave the house. They're the perfect candidate, and most people know that your dad carries his service pistol even when he goes to the bathroom. Probably the best thing you could do to protect your valuables, firearms, whatever, aside from getting a very expensive security system that you got a monthly bill on and an extremely expensive gun safe, which if you can do that stuff, then this is the wrong video for you, is be discreet about where you keep your items. When you go out shooting, don't let people see where you get them from. Don't let people see where you store your stuff from. Don't keep your safe in your master bedroom. If you can, hide it. Be discreet about everything. I mean, you probably shouldn't go to the level I go to. I mean, I get nervous about when the pizza guy shows up early or late, or right on time. Pizza guy just makes me nervous in general for some reason.
Mom! We're on high alert here! I almost killed you right there!
Just take precautions. When you go on vacation, don't live stream that you're in Cancun. Don't post the pictures of you being in Cancun till after you're back. And I'm aware most of this information is obvious to you, but sometimes you just gotta hear it come from someone else to really get you to self-evaluate and look at what you're doing and the little things you can do that make a big difference. But thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Leave in the comments below if you've ever been burglarized, if it's been someone you know, if it's been a total stranger, and if they've attacked your gun safe.